Alright, welcome back to Mass Effect. Now that we've finished the main planets, now, Novaria, Pharos, and, it's been so long, I don't even remember the planet that, Liara was on. The only main quest left is to go to Virmire. But before we go there, we've got to wrap up one loose end, being the doctor that grew organs in other humans, that Garrus never was able to take down. Also, I haven't used Garrus in a long time, so, I don't know why the game bothered to maintain his toxicity level. Oh. So basically, are we fighting against the Doctor's mutations? How unfortunate. If they were able to speak, they might ask us to kill them. Also, they kind of look like, husks. Now, I wasn't expecting the Doctor to have a mercenary crew with him, but he didn't have anybody. Like, no bodyguards at all. Like, I would imagine he'd be able to find some unscrupulous mercenaries who would willingly take money for that sort of thing.
Commander, that's him. That's Dr. Saleon.
And as you can see, why I brought Garrus with me.
Get me out of here.
Are you sure it's him?
Positive. There's no escape this time, Doctor. I'd harvest your organs first, but we don't have the time.
You're crazy. He's crazy. Please, don't let him do this to me.
Put him out of his misery so we can get going.
Gladly.
And thusly begins the story of Garrus Vakarian becoming Batman. Well, or maybe at least the Punisher.
That was satisfying.
I found that kind of unsatisfying because it cut immediately from the gunshot to the cinematic. Like, if you were given enough time to see the person fall down, like getting revenge on somebody for being a horrible monster, like that would have been more satisfying if you could actually see them die, as opposed to just, whoop, cut, camera goes away. We're done here.
Remember that feeling. That's how it should be.
I will, Commander. Well, I guess we're done here.
Saleon's medical equipment is stained with the blood of many species, pale blue, violet, orange, and more than a few dark red. But his work has ended here. Time to head back to Normandy. We don't say the Normandy, we just say Normandy around here. Like it's its own location, like a planet. Like you don't say you're going back to the Earth, you're going back to Earth. And now you're going back to, Normandy.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Normandy, this is Alliance Command. We're detecting your presence in the Attican Beta Cluster. One of our surveillance drones was gathering intel on Geth activities in the region when it was spotted and shot down. You need to go groundside and recover the drone's data module before the Geth find it.
Alright, sounds simple enough. And I believe this is going to be the last thing that I have to do. Well, amongst one other thing. But it's still on the same planet, so it's not going to be that far out of the way. Before I head over to Virmire. And that planet is Toxic. It appears like it's good for colonization. If it wasn't for the poisonous air that kills you. Now for this mission, like, I've spent a lot of the game, like, trying to traverse the whole map, trying to find the mineral nodes and the treasures and the downed satellites so I could get as much equipment as possible. But at this point of the game, it's not like I'm really collecting equipment anymore. I've got maximum money, maximum Omnigel, the Spectre guns. There's no real point for me to... Well, I guess there's a side quest I can do for mining, which requires me to mine specific numbers of material. Yeah, now I remember this mission. So I'll go to the satellite trying to stop the Geth from collecting data. But as it turns out, it was collected by monkeys.
This is the surveillance drone. But where's the data module?
Or these... Oh, monkey-like creatures. Seems to have made off with the data module. So, like, there's a mine place right here. There's a mine node right here. I can mark it if I want. But the rest of the game is definitely not going to be affected by it. I'm still going to mark it because it's here and I'm here. But I don't have to. Now, this quest is going to have me running over to different,
Wasn't it?
This is why you humans have such a violent reputation.
Whoops, I guess I ran over some monkeys. So I'm going to go over to these monkey colonies. But the only one I necessarily will be interested in is the one that happens to be sitting in front of a cave. I believe that's a cave entrance that I go into. It's been a while. Or actually, it's probably like an old mining entrance because I don't think this game offered caves. Like, you had to go through a door in order to enter any separate area. Huh. I didn't think about that before. The idea that all areas had to be separated by transitions of some sort. Whoops, I ran over another monkey. Is that covered by the prime objective? You can't run over the people of worlds that don't have faster than light technology. Now I could search every single monkey here for the data module. But I don't really need to. The data module is obviously going to be in the last monkey in the last room. They're not going to put the monkey with the data module all the way at the entrance. That would be crazy talk. But since this monkey's here... Yeah, it doesn't have the module. I guess it doesn't because the cursor switched pretty quick-like. And nothing happened.
Finally, some action. Negative contacts, Commander.
I was gonna say, these people seem much more prepared for battles, and I don't know why.
He dropped the data module.
It is a miracle the data module is still intact. Your pilot should be able to relay this info to your superiors.
After all these missions together, Liera, you don't even... You're not even able to call him the pilot by his true name. He's just the pilot to you. For shame. And the Geth showed up. 'Cause why not? No. Oh, I probably should use boost power. Nope. Oh no, Liara's dead. I wonder if I can shoot... Nope, I can't shoot Carnage while I'm overheated. And was that it? Considering that Liara... Oh, nope, there's one more. And that, in the distance, is the second reason to come to this planet. I guess the first being to complete the quest, and the second being to run over monkeys, but the third is this Prothean Ruin. Now, this Prothean Ruin has... there's, I guess, two ways to interact with it, and it all depends on whether you complete the consort's quests back in the Citadel. If you do not help the consort, if you do not help her, she will not give you an artifact, and without the artifact, this orb is meaningless to you. If she does give you the artifact, examining the strange Prothean artifact reveals a small, irregular slot on the underside of the surface. Remembering the strange trinket you received from the Asari consort on the Citadel, you pull it out and place it into the slot. The ball explodes in a brilliant flash of white light, momentarily blinding and disorienting you. Slowly your senses return as you wake from a deep sleep. You are alone in the forest, though you are not far from the caves you share with others of your tribe. There is a pain and a small lump in the back of your skull, as if a chip of flint has been forced underneath the surface of the skin. Leaning on your bone-tipped spear for support, you rise to your feet. A sound draws your attention upwards, where a strange creature hovers high above you. It is unlike the birds you hunt by the lake's edge. It has no head and no wings, yet somehow it flies. It is a beast of shining silver, hanging motionless in the sky like a cloud. You sense it is watching you, studying you. Raising a hairy fist, you shake your spear at it in anger, and the creature rises up quickly until it disappears from view. With a satisfying grunt, you make your way back to your caves and the rest of your tribe. You fall into the familiar patterns of life. The hunt for food, the struggle to claim and keep a mate, the battles against other tribes that would claim your territory. Days roll into nights and back into days. Each time you rise from sleep, there is a sensation that you are not alone, that some other is with you, sharing all you see, hear, and feel. At these times, your hand goes to the strange lump at the back of your skull, and you remember the silver creature in the sky. The air grows colder, winter falls. You must range farther for food, clutching the furs tight against you to ward off the chill. It is one of these long hunts that the strange bird returns. You hear it before you see it. Its call a deafening roar as it descends from above, swooping down at you. A single great eye opens on the underbelly, a glowing red orb. You try to run, but a finger of red light extends from the eye and engulfs you, and all goes black again. You wake an instant later to find yourself on Eletania, lying on your back, the Prothean artifact looming above you undamaged, and your companions standing over you. They help you to your feet, puzzled. There was a flash of light and you just sort of toppled over, one explains. Are you okay, Shepard? The other asks. You don't answer right away, wondering at the implications of what you have seen. The memories of a Cro-Magnon hunter captured by an implanted Prothean data recorder. How long did they study the primitive humans, observing them and analyzing the results at their base on Mars? And what, if anything, did they learn from us? I'm fine, you finally reply, realizing this is a mystery you will probably never solve. Forget about it. Okay, class, I'm going to need some explanations as to what that meant on my desk by Friday. So, please turn in your 3-paged, double-spaced Times New Roman 12-point font papers on what the artifact meant to, and its vision meant to you. And hopefully you'll get a good grade. See you then. On our way to Virmire, I just want to mention that it's interesting that in that particular vision, it's a text-based vision, but it doesn't specify the companions you're with, even though it's text. They could have just inserted those characters as variables. Like, they didn't have to say, this... They didn't have to say, this ally said this, and the other ally said that. Which makes me wonder at what point in the game this particular bit of text was added in, since it's kind of, like, out of the way. It's also, I believe, the only large block of text to read for any of the main or side storyline content. Like, there's tons of stuff you could read about planets, but that's incredibly optional. Whereas the artifact is something you discover through exploration. A lush frontier world, ideal for colonization, which is recognizable because I already did the Pinnacle in the Sky mission, which uses assets from Virmire.
Commander, I'm reading a signal. Must be our Solarian infiltration team.
Check out those defense towers.
I'm trying to, but I can't see them from up here in space. And of course... Oh, we're already out of the Mako.
Stay out of range and continue evasive maneuvers until I bring those AA towers down.
I know the drill. Meet you at the camp once those towers are offline. Joke around.
Alright, now this is a little bit trickier of a Mako segment, only because there are just so many enemies. So I'm going to save my game, just in case I die. Because the Mako doesn't really have very good recharging capabilities. And are these indigenous life forms? Sea creatures from the great beyond. I'll let them live. Ah. All it needs is a well-placed cannon fire, and the drones are dust. There we go. Although that's the issue, is that the targeting cursor kind of lies a lot. Like, at longer distances, it's more trustworthy. But at shorter distances, especially untrustworthy. Whoa. Was that his last shot? He had one more shot. One more opportunity. Or maybe I overstated the difficulty of this region. Yeah, well, we'll find out. Oh no, they're jamming us. Yeah, the shields don't really do much when you're inside the Mako. And at least with, like, machine gun fire, you don't really have to be that accurate at a distance. So, when it becomes tricky to... Oh! I forgot about this section. I believe at some point we're going to have to actually leave the Mako to shut down switches and the like. Or we have to leave the Mako in order to shut down that switches the guns, the aerial guns. Alright, still jammed, but I'm not too worried. Ah, there's an upcoming turret. Truly, oh nope, this is a Colossus. That was a terrible dodge. There we go. And look, some more Colossus? Ah, jeez. Ah, God, old Lenny can't catch a break with these Geth Colossi. And it gives me two paths to go on. If I go down both, that means I get to defeat all the enemies. I don't have to, I suppose. Well, what's the point of letting even one of these suckers live? Also, it's a very basic water explosion, but it looks fine. It does it justice. And I believe, yep, this is the beach, so I have to... See, I could try to be fancy, but it's easier to just stand here and wait for him to shoot, and then shoot him back. And now, since I've got no shield, just give me a moment. And I'm back. This time with full shields, so I don't just explode anytime a Geth Colossus looks at me. Because once those shields are gone, the Mako just falls apart like it's made of paper. Which it might be. They spend all the money on fancy shields. But they're like, armor, not quite as important. Oh. And then there are also bad guys in this midst. I wonder if the Mako shields regenerate while I'm outside the vehicle, if the game cares. I would imagine so. Hello. And carnage. Excellent. I gotta...
I'm reading that the grid is down, Commander. On approach to the Solarian base now. Out.
Ready to move on your word, Shepard.
Excellent. Now, the camp that we're approaching... Okay, so Virmire is a special world. There are two plot points that are major things that could happen to the characters you bring with you, depending on the choices you make. 1 to 2 people will die here. As well as having a large revelation to the plot itself. So, like, Virmire isn't the end of the game, but it is the last step to the end of the game. The next main quest will lead me down a unstoppable course till the finale. But before that, people will have to die. At least one person will have to die. I've already said my choice a whole bunch of times now, because I already, like, okay, so you're given a choice that you have to make which causes one person to die, regardless of what you do. And I've already said what I was going to do a few times now, mainly because I've always done it the other way around. But since we're here, I'm not going to drop spoilers left and right. Let's just pretend I haven't been talking about it the whole time. I like the view from the beach. It's nice and foreboding. Like, if you were on this beach, you wouldn't be like, wow, I'm nice and relaxed. Complete with fancy tents.
So what are we supposed to do now?
Stay put until we can come up with a plan.
Are you in charge here? What's the situation?
I'm Captain Kirahi, 3rd Infiltration Regiment STG. You and your crew have just landed in the middle of a hot zone. Every AA gun within 10 miles has been alerted to your presence.
Well, that's not a problem, depending on how many AA guns there are within 10 miles. There can't be that many.
We stay put until the Council sends the reinforcements we requested.
We are the reinforcements.
What? You're all they sent? I told the Council to send a fleet.
Yeah, your message, it was non-existent. Like, all they could see was what channel you were
Couldn't
responding
understand the
on.
transmission. They sent me to investigate.
That is a repetition of our task. I lost half my men investigating this place.
So what have you found?
Saren's base of operations. He set up a research facility here, but it's crawling with Geth and very well fortified.
What's Saren researching?
He's using the facility to breed an army of Krogan.
How is that possible?
Apparently, Saren has discovered a cure for the genophage.
Huh.
What's so important about curing this genophage?
It was the solution to the Krogan problem.
We introduced the genophage to the Krogan population after the uprising, to quell their numbers. Without it, the Krogan will quickly overrun the galaxy. And these Krogan follow Saren.
Well, they follow Saren, so we're gonna have to
Geth
stop
are
it.
Bad enough, but a Krogan army. He'd be almost unstoppable.
Exactly my thoughts. We must ensure that this facility and its secrets are destroyed.
I wonder if there's going to be a character who disagrees with this.
Our people are dying. This cure can save them.
If that cure leaves this planet, the Krogan will become unstoppable. We can't make the same mistake again.
Also, we don't even know if there is a cure at this point. You're just kind of assuming that it
Is he going to be
works.
a problem? We already have enough angry Krogan to deal with.
He'll be fine. I'll talk to him.
I'd appreciate that, Commander. My men and I need to rethink our plan of attack. Can you give us some time?
Go ahead, Captain. I'll come back soon.
We won't be long, Commander. In the meantime, if you need any supplies, you can talk to Commander Rentola. He's in one of the tents nearby.
Looks like things are a bit of a mess.
Yeah. I wouldn't be so worried if it wasn't for Rex. He looks like he's gonna blow a gasket.
Just drop it. He'll be fine.
He's always
Say so,
angry.
But I'm gonna keep my eye on him, if it's all the same to you.
Okay, so I can talk to Rex. He's going to be plenty upset. Depending on where the conversation goes, if it goes wrong, Ashley just up and kills Rex. Now, remember that she is, she doesn't like aliens. She has a history of not liking aliens. Looks a little fishy on this Ashley's part. But I'm gonna try to keep this Krogan alive because he'll show up for Mass Effect 2 and 3. Otherwise, he gets replaced, I think. Actually, I don't know if he gets replaced. I've never not had him for the sequels. So I'll just save my game in case I screw up.
This isn't right, Shepard. If there's a cure for the genophage, we can't destroy it.
Calm down, Rex. I'm not the enemy here. Saren's the one you should be mad at.
Really? Saren created a cure for my people. You want to destroy it.
And then he wants to use your people as a puppet.
Friend and foe are getting a little blurry from where I stand.
This isn't a cure, it's a weapon, and if Saren is allowed to use it, you won't be around to reap the benefits. None of us will.
That's a chance we should be willing to take. This is the fate of my entire people we're talking about. I've been loyal to you so far. Hell, you did more for me than my family ever did. But
This is true.
I'm going to keep following you. I need to know we're doing it for the right reasons.
And then they pull guns on each other. For no reason. We're doing it for the right reasons. I wouldn't do this otherwise. This isn't up for debate. We are doing this for the right reasons.
Rex, these Krogan are not your people. They're slaves of Saren, tools. Is that what you want for them?
No, we were tools for the Council once. To thank us for wiping out the Rachni, they neutered us all. I doubt Saren will be as generous. All right, Shepard. You've made your point. I don't like this, but I trust you enough to follow your lead. Just one thing. When we find Saren, I want his head.
Consider it done. And you get some dramatic music to facilitate your accomplishment.
I'm surprised you were able to reason with a Krogan.
See, the problem for that Solarian is that he never tried.
Your ability to calm the Krogan is impressive.
The Krogan, the pilot, Lyra, so formal, not even willing to call her crewmates by their names. Now, next time we'll have our assault on Saren's research station's main camp, and perhaps revelations, then sadness. Thank you for watching. If you've still got the itch for more content, why not give one of those links a try? Got some questions or comments, you can comment down below or send it on over to itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. That's itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. In the meantime, so long, folks.